I haven't seen too many videos like this, but because of this, I'm going to share this one with you. This is a personal story of mine, and this deals with doppelgangers. According to pretty much any search you can do in Google or on Wikipedia or any other search engine, if you look up doppelganger, it usually says something to the effect of a ghostly double or counterpart of someone that tends to stalk, harass, or even threaten them. It can also be said that seeing a doppelganger is a sign of bad things to come. It was maybe 10 or 15 years ago, and I was driving home. I remember driving past somebody that actually looked a lot like me. The only difference was he was wearing glasses, and at the time I wore contacts. I didn't really give it much thought until a few years later when my girlfriend was visiting me. She had been staying there for a few months, and she used to talk to me a lot about how she thought she was psychic and that she had all these abilities and things. Now, I just want to say that I personally never really believed in psychics or psychic phenomena. It's not that I don't think things like that could exist, it's that I've never seen significant evidence of it, at least nothing that ever proved it to me anyway. Anytime I've ever met anyone that claimed to be psychic and I asked them to prove their abilities, I usually got excuses like, it doesn't work that way, or I can't show you because you're blocking me, whatever that means. Anyway, my girlfriend was definitely a believer that she had these abilities, and that she could sense and feel things, even see things that I would be oblivious to. Certainly I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt because she was my girlfriend and I loved her very much, but I was still very, very skeptical of it. Anyway, every time I'd come home from work or from the store, she'd always have some fantastic or bizarre story to tell me. Like she was seeing things in the apartment, sensing things, hearing things. Sometimes we'd even be sitting together and she'd say something like, "Hey, do you feel that?" Or, "Hey, did you hear that?" Or, "Did you see that?" And my response was always the same. "No, I have no idea what you're talking about." This went on like this for a while. I really didn't think much of it and I just kind of blew it off because, as I said before, I'm really not much of a believer in psychic abilities or psychic phenomena. But she seemed so serious when she said this to me that I started to question it. One night as we were falling asleep, I could hear something outside my bedroom door. And what I mean by that is the door was open, so it's not like I was hearing sound coming through that I was mishearing. This was a really strange sound. It kind of sounded like talking, but it was mechanical. I really don't know how else to describe it, but it was a voice, like a person talking, possibly a male, but it sounded electronic. Now at that point I started thinking of all those old stories coming from the 1950s and 1960s about men in black and UFOs. The idea that the government had built these robots to go and interrogate people that had claimed they had seen UFOs or other such paranormal phenomena. If you don't know what I'm talking about, forget the 1997 film with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones and look up Men in Black, and you'll see what I mean. I kind of forgot about it at that point, thinking maybe I was just imagining it. I mean, I was laying down, and I'm obviously more susceptible to being influenced when I'm sleepy, but it was still kind of there in my brain. I want to say it was maybe a week or two later. I had been sitting in my computer room, typing away. I think I was reading emails. My girlfriend came in and looked at me. She had this really serious look on her face. I looked up at her and said, "Hey, what's up?" Dead seriously, she stared at me and said, Please tell me you just got up out of this room and walked into the pantry and walked back without me seeing you walk back." I took off my headphones, stared at her and said, "What in the world are you talking about? I've been sitting here for over an hour." She looked at me and said, "Oh my God, stop messing with me, stop kidding. I seriously just saw you walk into the pantry." I immediately got up and I headed over to the pantry, and there was nobody there. And once again, I don't know if she was just seeing things, or if this has to do with psychic phenomena or what, but she swore to me that she saw someone dressed exactly like me, with my exact face and appearance, walking into my pantry. It was about a month or so later and she had left. She had to go back home. It was a long-distance relationship, so she couldn't stay forever, of course. She had responsibilities and family. And my life just basically continued. I totally forgot about it until I started hearing that mechanical voice again in my room. I had no idea what was causing this. And once again, I started having these strange ideas in my head about men in black, doppelgangers, paranormal phenomena. I remember sitting up in my bed, wide awake, and listening to it, hearing this strange mechanical sounding voice outside of my room. The door was wide open, and I could see the moonlight coming through the windows, but there was nobody standing there. Just this creepy metallic voice, speaking, in sentences I couldn't make sense of. I remember getting back on Skype with my girlfriend and asking her what she thought was happening. She assured me that whatever it was probably going to be okay. I said, "I need you to think harder. I need you to think." I need you to focus. Whatever ability you claim you have, I need you to focus it. What's happening in my apartment? She paused for a few moments, gave me a dead serious look again through the webcam, and said, "It's not going to hurt you. Give it a little bit and maybe it'll leave." After that, I started spending less time at home. I just tried to keep my mind off of it. But as you can guess, that really didn't happen. I was dwelling on it. I jumped back to what I'd seen a few years back. That person I drove by on the street that looked just like me, except for the glasses. I had no idea what was happening. I just wanted it to go away. And after a while it did. I still think about it sometimes, even though it's been a few years. And I still wonder, who was that was in my apartment? What was making that voice? What did it want?